Hello, everyone. This is Deborah Deras, professional speaker, author, and marketing consultant, and your host of Deb TV, Dynamic, Empowered, and Bold. And today we have a very special guest on our show, Transformational Tuesday. And I say it's our show because I have co-created this show for you to be able to help you transform in the area of career, health, spirituality, relationships, physical body, so that you can live a life that is aligned with your highest and greatest purpose. And I am determined to bring you the best of the best. And that's why I interview experts every single week on topics that will help you live a transformational life. And today's topic is how to live an intentional life. And we have a very, very special guest, my sister, my business advisor, my hermana de alma, soul sister, all the way streaming in from Texas, Ivette Mayo. Howdy.
Hey, Deb, how are you? Hello, everyone. This is so exciting. Thank you for having me this evening, and I'm looking forward to sharing some information that hopefully will take people to the next level.
I absolutely know it will take people to the next level. Every single time I have a conversation with Ivette, my consciousness goes to the next level. So you are in for a treat. Let me formally introduce Ivette Mayo to you. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Yo Soy I Am LLC. This award-winning entrepreneur is a certified trainer, business coach, and a sought-after speaker. She is a member of the John Maxwell leadership team. Her primary focus is to assist her clients in achieving their greatest success. Yvette's 25 years corporate career, plus her unique global business experiences, have given her tremendous insights on how to conduct business across cultures. Yvette has always made certain to link cultural awareness in all of her sessions. One of her most recent accomplishments is being appointed to the U.S. State Department's Public Diplomat Program, giving her the opportunity to share her expertise with women throughout the world. I didn't even know that, girl. That's awesome. This energetic entrepreneur is also the creator of a Latina-inspired line of cards and stationery products called Yo Soy Expressions, celebrating culture and language and traditions with a modern-day twist. She was successful in gaining placement in Walgreens and designing bilingual holiday cards for Target. In October 2014, Yvette signed a licensing deal with Continental Accessories, allowing them the ability to manufacture, package, and distribute her products throughout the U.S., Canada, Mexico, and the Caribbean. Oh my goodness.
Woohoo!
And by the way, I met your cards before I met you, because I was speaking at a conference, and as a thank you for my speaking engagement, they gave me this amazing card that said, muchas gracias. I was like, wait a minute, I've never seen a muchas gracias card. And when I was introduced to you, I'm like, oh, that's Yo Soy I Am Yvette, right?
It is. And I think one of the greatest moments I think I've had, it still kind of chokes me up when I think about it. I was invited to do a consulting with a nonprofit, and the young woman was out of the office. They escorted me to her office. And as I'm sitting in her at her desk, I'm looking around, and across, or just right next to her monitor, was one of the cards that I had designed. So when she came in, I asked her, where did she get the card? And she said it was a special gift from a special friend. And she kept the card and just in her eyesight, just so she can see that card, because it was something that was really empowering to her. And as she's saying this, I'm actually getting emotional, because I hadn't had the chance to tell her that I was a designer of those cards. And it was important to understand that what I had intended the card to be was to be an empowerment, a tool to empower women, especially Latinas. And she's sharing with me her story of empowerment and what that card meant to me, or meant to her. So it meant such, it was wonderful. We've maintained our friendship. And it was wonderful that women still see those cards and continue to be inspired.
That's so beautiful. And I have my cards right here. In fact, I keep your cards in my briefcase, so when I'm on the plane, I have a chance to write the thank you card that my dad always said, my Colombian father, what's going to set you apart from other people is you're going to take the time to hand write cards and tell people how much you appreciate them. So I want to just, on behalf of everyone in North America, Mexico, and Caribbean, thank you for creating cards that really represent our culture. So before we go into the topic of how to live an intentional life, I think that our audience members are really curious to how you became, people always ask me this, so I know they want to ask you this. How do you become a motivational speaker, trainer, author? How do you be this entrepreneur that's so successful and is continuing to grow and evolve? What's your story?
Well, I started my career in training about 25 years ago. I had the opportunity of getting involved and being part of the development team for the sales and marketing team for a national or international airline. I always felt that when I had the opportunity to be in front of a classroom to share information that either was something new or help somebody relearn something. And they provided me feedback like that really helped me, or that was important to me, or you made me feel something, or you made me think differently. That inspired me to continue in my path as a facilitator, as a trainer. I had no idea that I had this much power, or I had this much impact on people's lives. And it wasn't until they shared it with me that I realized the position of influence that I was in. And that was my driver, that if I can share information and make people better, then it was my gift. It was my gift to share. And I think that's one of the things that we have to understand, that when you get in a position of life and things come easy, and you know that you are being a servant leader, you're sharing your gifts with others, then you're in the right place. So I continued my path of learning and teaching. And I think the empowerment component just kind of happened organically, because I was invited to speak at an event and another event about whether it was corporate training, sales training, presentation skills. I always managed to add that cultural element or a personal story, and how that particular skill helped me become better. And I think at the end of every presentation, I received acknowledgement from someone who came up to me and said, "You really made me think differently. I'm going to do differently because of you, and I want more." So the empowerment component just kind of came organically because of that. And I felt that I knew I was in the right place again. So I call myself an empowerment expert because I feel that I go with the spirit. I let people hear and know what they need to hear and know in the moment. I can prepare many times a great message or a great presentation, but sometimes I go off script because that's where the energy and the spirit guides me, because someone in that audience has to hear what I have to say. And I always get confirmation after a conference or a presentation that that person walks up to me and says, "I needed to hear what you had to say today, and I'm so thankful that I was here today to hear it." So it kind of came organically. I can't speak for other people, but that's how it's come for me. And I continue to seek out those opportunities simply because it gives me the chance to make people better.
I love that. And I love that you talk about servant leadership. I don't know if that's part of your John Maxwell training or just a natural part of who you are, but I know all of the leadership models that I studied, servant leadership was my favorite, because it's about not selling something or making something or pushing something. It's really about sharing and helping others be better. And I know that's where we have that common bond. And absolutely. I know that many people listening think that, in order to live their passion or live in an intentional life, that they need to push or force or make things happen. Or I see a lot of people struggling to figure things out. But, one of the things I talk about in my Confessions book that I know you agree with, it's like the surrendering to your purpose, that you surrendered to your higher purpose. You said yes to the call of being of service. And so when you do it from that place, it's not like, who do I think I am? I am. It's like, who am I not to do something that's going to benefit people in the world, that's going to allow them to shine their light, to be in their authentic power. And by your stepping forward, you're an example for so many women, not just Latina women, entrepreneur women that would love to have a product that's distributed in all these different countries. And you're doing it from such a good heart, from such a good faith?
Well, I believe that if you help others, you will. If you help others become better, you will become better automatically. I mean, it's not always about money. It's not always about money exchanging hands. It's about sharing information that's going to help people grow from a place of, a true place, a true heart. That way, you're rewarded in a different way, in a different time. So money doesn't always have to exchange hands for you to become wealthy or successful. So remember that. By helping others become better, you automatically become better.
You guys, that's tweetable.
Tweet it.
Oprah says on Super Soul Sunday. That is a tweetable moment. At Ivette Mayo on Twitter, at Deborah Deras. Say it again. Say the tweetable.
By helping others become better, you automatically become better.
Yes, by helping others become better, you automatically become better. And my company, Synergy Unlimited, is we're better together. That's why I could do this Deb TV by myself, but I know it's going to be so much better with Ivette. And Ivette, when you talked about doors opening, one of the things that I've realized in my own path and in coaching others, that when you are on purpose and in alignment with what you're here to do, your true destiny, doors will fly open. It'll almost seem like, wow, this is easy, or this is graceful. Not that you haven't put in the work or the intention to get there, but it's just a path that seems like you're flowing down the curtain instead of pushing up the curtain. Many times people think things have to be harder than they need to be, but when we're in alignment, do you find that things flow to you?
Well, I believe in a wonderful little phrase, and you're welcome to use this tweetable moment too. It's called ease and flow. If things are easy, they will flow easily, and you will attain what you're supposed to attain. It's when we're trying to squeeze that square peg in a round hole, is where we're forcing and we're spending a lot of energy trying to do that. Yeah, you'll get it in there, but it's still not a perfect fit. And the reason is because it's not for you. Things that are for you come through ease and flow. I talk to people all the time. I have the opportunity of not only speaking and training, but I also coach and mentor a group of people. And I find myself that people are in three places in life. One, I call it the predictable state. That's your DNA. That's the family you're born in, the culture, the community, the institutional learning that you went through for those first 30 years of your life. And then in your 30s, I call it your experience period, where you are experiencing life. You're now trying new things. You're doing things in a different space, and you're learning things about yourself. But I think where I find people today are more in that purposeful state. They're kind of in turmoil. They're looking for that place where it really speaks to their spirit and to their real essence. And all the travel and all the books and all the things they've done have led them to this place in time where they need more. And I think when ease and flow comes into places, you know your purpose when there is ease and flow, when you obtain the things that are for you without any struggle, without any just difficulties. It comes to you because it's for you.
And by the way, she means that for professional and personal. I know from having talks with her.
Absolutely.
Ease and flow. And I always say success with ease and grace. So I'm definitely meaning the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I believe that
the square peg in the round hole, because oftentimes people think that they think from the level of the problem. My favorite quote is Einstein says you can't solve a problem from the consciousness that created it. So maybe somebody's unhappy with their job, or they're unhappy in their relationship, and they're just pushing, white knuckling through it and wondering why it doesn't work. But when you let go and surrender and say, I'm willing to be of service and see how the divine order, or the highest and best good, whatever you want to call it, can come through me rather than from me, then that's when, for me, the miracles happen. What do you think?
No, absolutely. And I think we're in a place of meaning and significance. And I think we have to remember that we are such a process-driven society. Like, people say to me all the time, okay, show me what I need to do. Tell me what I need to do. I need to know right now. And they want the ABC and the 1, 2, 3. It's not always that easy. We're in a society that is so process-driven, and I want to say that it's all technical. Technical. Let's push a button, and then if it doesn't work, well, then they look at you and go, it didn't happen. you have to stick in there and take risks. Sometimes it's not gonna be a pencil or a calculator or a button or an app that's gonna get you the success you need. It's just gonna take just sheer faith and just commitment to the idea of that purpose-driven life, that meaningful moment, that significance, that purpose that we're all looking for.
And that's what we're going to segue to. And when we talk about purpose and intention and really focusing our energy on what we want to create, I know the first step for me is really clarity, is knowing what I desire, whether it's in a career or whether it's in a relationship or in my health or in my relationship with a higher power. What is the definition of living an intentional life for you?
I like to say it's two things. It's power actions and power language. Power actions, meaning that you put yourself in a position where you're seeking out activities that are going to help you achieve what you're trying to do. First of all, ask more questions. Ask for help. Ask for directions, because we get to a point where pride gets in our way. There's a lot of things you don't know. There's a lot of things you feel. There's a lot of things you see, but there's a lot of things you don't know. And I think that by opening your mouth and asking questions is the first powerful action you can take to getting closer to your purpose. And I think women, we don't ask good questions. We hate to ask for help. So what I want you to do is as you're seeking out that next level of purposefulness in your life, significance, is open your mouth and ask better questions. But then the second powerful action is listen. Listen deeply to what's being said to you, because people are sharing nuggets of information, this wealth of words, and we just take it for granted. I can share with someone how to get their product to Target, but I also have to share with them the 5-year story or the 5-year period that it took for that one event to take place. So you have to understand the depth of the story, not just the activity, but you just need to listen. And I think that's something that we can do better. So powerful actions. The second thing is that powerful language. I think we need to speak power into our words. I'm a big proponent of affirmations, because affirmations help you not only think, feel, but they help you do and accomplish the things you say you're going to do. I am powerful. I am strong. I am victorious. You hear those things, but speak affirmations that I am capable of getting it done today. I am strong because I've accomplished these things throughout my life. Speak those strong words of affirmation into your life. And so those two things combined can help people reach that meaningful place of significance that they're looking for.
I love that. Oh my goodness, I need a pen to take notes. I'm listening intently. So the first thing that I heard that really struck a chord was about questions. And one of my mentors, I think an NLP, Anthony Robbins trainer, said to me, the quality of our questions is the quality of our lives. And I know when I was doing a lot of personal coaching, now I'm doing more business consulting, people would say, why did this happen to me? And anytime you say why, you're coming from a victim consciousness in that question.
Absolutely.
When you say what is the lesson here, then you're coming from a place of learning, growing, and expanding. So I'm absolutely, one of the things that I do with myself, because when we all go to these different stages of consciousness, is I flip my question. When I go into victim consciousness of why me, why this, is, well, what is the lesson here? What is the learning here? What can I do here? What is the inspired action? And I am totally with you on the affirmations. In my book, every chapter has what I call declarations, which are, affirmations. But one of my mentors is Wayne Dyer, and I recently did a show just honoring his life. And one of his famous quotes is, "We don't get what we want, we get who we are," which is about embodying it. So when you say, I am powerful, unless you believe it and exude it and embody it in every cell of your being, it's not going to show up in your life, because our inner world creates our outer world. And that's what I love about what you're about, because you're empowering people through your being of it, Ivette. You know, everyone that's around you loves you. I know those of you that are listening love her. And it's because you're so conscious about spreading love and light. How do you become in that intentional space to be? Because I'm sure you have a lot of stresses and pressures like the rest of us, but every time I see you, you're like the most loving spirit. I don't know. How do you do it?
Well, you know, it's funny. I had a wonderful conversation with a wonderful friend and mentor just a few weeks ago, and I shared with her just a little bit of my personal story. And she was so taken aback because she said, I had no idea. But let me just share this with you. I'll be 53 years old this coming Saturday.
Oh,
So happy birthday to me. But the reality of it is that if we push the rewind button maybe 17 years ago, there was no way that you would find me sitting in front of a camera in my home in Houston, Texas, and talking to the likes of the beautiful Miss Deborah Deras and California, because where life had taken me to that point was not a good place. But back to that victim's mentality, I knew that there was more. I knew I wanted more. And so my focus from that point on until now is making myself better and becoming the person that I desire to be. Whether it's a great wife, a great mother, a soon-to-be grandma, or as I like to say, mamita, because there's no abuela here. But the other part of it is become a successful woman of business, an entrepreneur, a leader, an influencer, a global thinker. I mean, I really had to put myself out there and really just come down to just my bare essence and say, what are my strengths, but what are my weaknesses? Because I have to become better. And the only way I can become better is by making my weaknesses stronger. So whether I'm talking to a coaching client or one of my business clients, helping them find a new process or a new strategy for their business, is what do you really want to accomplish? Who do you want to influence? And where are your weaknesses? I mean, I go hard on the questions, because that's how we go through that discovery. Discovering who you really are and what you really need is really critical in our growth process. And I don't think people are always honest. And that's one of the things that I insist on all my clients. I'm going to be honest with you, but you have to be honest with me. But most importantly, you have to be honest with yourself. So my path to this point in my life has been magnificent. I am in a loving relationship. I am in a good place. I have what I like to think is a successful business, and new opportunities are coming to me every day. But I put myself in the position to receive those things, because that's what I desire. And so that ease and flow conversation comes through again. If it's for me, it comes to me. And for businesses, I say the same thing to them. Are you being honest with yourself? Is that really the customer that you really want? Do you want to continue to spend money doing that, or do we need to spend money and energy doing something else to make you more successful? And that same thing happens with my personal clients who are in that purposeful state, trying to find that place of happy, that joy spot that they can't seem to find, because they have so many other people in their heads. They have all the roles of life and business in their heads, and they forgot who they are. So discovery is so important, but it only comes through honesty.
I love it. Get real and honest with yourself.
Be real.
You cannot lie to your soul. And that's why I have so many coaches, because I will on my own lie to myself and say, oh, I'm happy with this is okay. But when somebody really asks me that question, so what is your intention with this? What is your intention with that? Do you really want to be doing this? I really have the opportunity to get beyond that blind spot that we all have. This is why coaching is so important, because we can't see it. It's like too close to us. Can you say those 3 questions again so that the people can write it down?
The 3 questions in terms, are you going to be honest with me? Are you saying which 3 questions?
Well, the 3 questions you said, in order for people to be clear on what they want, that they have to ask themselves, first question was, oh, I wanted to write it down, but I'm going to have to stop you in the middle next time so I can get the 3 questions. Okay.
Well, we'll come back to the 3 questions because I was flowing. I was on my flow.
I'm going to take notes because she has so many gems and so many good points. I just wanted to make sure you got that, in order for you to make these decisions about living an intentional life, it's getting beyond your little ego self. One of my favorite phrases, I don't know if you've heard me say this, Yvette, is your ego is not your amigo, but your enemy.
I love that. I love that.
Ego's not your friend, it's your enemy or your frenemy. Because I pretend like it's your friend. Oh, it's comfortable here. Let's stay stuck. So when we're going forward and living an intentional life, we're going to come up against resistance. And when you're talking about ease and flow, how do we get through that fear, that ego that edges the good out and wants to sabotage and stop us from going to that level that you know and I know is our next potential. That is the next level of our involvement.
I think people have to understand that their purpose is tied to who they are. It's your characteristics. It's tied to your talents. It's tied to your dreams. It's tied to the place that you love to be. Even in business, if you have to ask yourself, you've heard this Confucius say, if you love what you do each and every day, then it's you're not working. It's something, and forgive me for paraphrasing that, but if you really love what you're doing, then it's not work. It's you're in your purpose. And I think for people to get into that discovery state, to get into that place of identity or identifying what their purpose is, all the things that they want to accomplish are tied to them, their character, their desires, their core values, their talents, all the things that they desire to do. And I think most importantly is something that they just can't stop doing. They just can't avoid it. They can't ignore it. It's just something that is in front of them all the time. And I think that's the question you have to ask yourself. One of my clients is an engineer. I won't call him out by name, but for many years, he didn't tell his family that he loved to paint. Ooh. And so now he's on the other end of his career, and he can't wait to retire because he's going to France for 6 months to do watercolor training.
Oh my God, I have to introduce him to my dad. My dad was an engineer and he retired, and now he goes to Europe to do watercolor painting.
Well, this gentleman told his family that this is, and his friends and his colleagues, that this is what he is going to do. But being in a process-driven community and society, people can't relate to him being in that creative state where he is simply just picking up an easel and applying colors to a beautiful canvas and creating an illusion, or what he's seeing in front of him. So a lot of people are really pushing him back, but he knows it's his purpose. Because why? He's discovered and he's identified it is his true character, it's his core value, it is something that he feels in his spirit, and no money in the world can keep him from doing what he's doing. So guess what? He's now tied into his purpose, and his artwork is beautiful. Why? Because it comes from a place of meaning and significance within his spirit. So I think that's what we have to do. We have to get in a place where we find our purpose. It's really in a place where it just speaks to all who we are, our true essence, and it comes easily. That is where your purpose is.
I love that, because I always say that I don't have a job, I have a joy, and that I have to set my alarm to stop working rather than to start. But you know, being my friend, that it's been a journey of discovery.
It is.
What I got my degree in as a vocational rehabilitation counselor, evolving to doing coaching, evolving to doing consulting. But it's all, the purpose is the same. It's how can I be of service? How can I use my talent, skills, and abilities to help transform the world? Keyword, transformation. I'm an agent, a vehicle, a catalyst for transformation and breakthroughs in my clients and in my audience members. And so that is the key. And so what I hear you saying is, it's not necessarily about what should I do or what can I do. It's like, what are you, the fish in water, doing already that you love or not doing enough of, and swim in that. and just trusting that when you follow that, that on the ease and flow path, that the way to monetize it will be revealed if you are open to it. Am I right about that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think what happens is that we also have to see ourselves in that place. Give ourselves permission as a company, as an individual, as a leader, to see ourselves in that position of power, that we've accomplished that, and kind of walk yourself back. What do I have to do to get to that place? We have to visualize ourselves in that place of success or in that place of purpose. I think what's important too is, if you can't visualize yourself, think about, if you were successful, who would be with me? What would I be doing? What would it take? And if money is an issue, how much money is it going to take for you to get there? Write yourself that check right now. You have to see yourself obtaining those resources so you can be that success that you desire to be, whether in your personal life or your personal life. But I think one of the most important things about moving forward is understanding that we have to let go of our past. And I recently was in a wonderful training with some of our wonderful mentors from John Maxwell, and they had this wonderful line that I like to share with you guys. It says, you have to get rid of the BS. And BS is not what you think it is, but BS is called the bogus story. That story that someone has been telling you that you're not worthy, that you're not pretty, you're not smart, that you'll never be successful because you don't have the money, you don't have the skill, you don't have the talent, that you were a victim, that you were bullied, all those things. That BS, we have to let that go. Those bogus stories they don't have a place in your future. So you have to let go of them now. So you can't get there if you're still holding on to that junk.
That is so important. I think that's one of the major lessons that people get stuck in, and that stops them from moving forward. It's because, however we're socialized, these bogus stories, or like I say, belief systems that say, who are we to do this, when we can reframe that, like Marianne Williamson in her Our Deepest Fear, and say, who are we not to? Who are we not to be absolutely brilliant and talented and fabulous? And that little part of us that has doubt, one of the things that I say to my clients is it's like a pancake or an arepa. No, I'm just kidding. So there's fear on one side, but you flip it over and it's excitement. So I just decide, am I going to be today living in fear, or am I going to be in excitement? Fear, excitement, fear. It's just a flip. And sometimes that flip is just reframing that thought that says, I can't, that says, what if I could? Changing that statement into, like you said, that powerful question that puts you into possibility. And I love that John Maxwell's leadership program that you're involved in is so focused on self-actualization, because at the end of the day, it's all about, did we make a difference? Really, it's not, did I have $1 million in the bank? Did I have this stock, this car? It's about, did my presence and beingness on this planet have a significant impact that people will know when I'm gone, the blueprint, the imprint that I left, right?
Well, I agree. And I think one of the most important things is that we have to really live our lives with more intentionality. With intention. Intention is about a mindset, and it's actions driven by the things that you desire to accomplish in life. And I think you just have to put more meaning by the choices that you're making. And that's when you were talking about flipping, choose. And I think we need to do a better job of choosing those old time conditioning that we've been subject to for so many years. People will tell us, that's just how it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you just have to ask that question, why? Why does it have to be that way? Why can't it change? Why aren't we ready to move forward? Why can't we want more, expect more? And I think that's one of the things we have to do. We have to choose more so we can be more. And that's one of the things that we go back to that conversation about having powerful actions and powerful language to help us achieve that.
Ooh, let me stop you. Choose more to be more. High five, girl.
I love it. I love it.
choose more to be more. And the first principle in my book is the power of choice, because when I used to think that I was a victim of things and this happened because of this, I realized that so much of my stress was self-created, man. I was drama queen Janine, you know, and just making my adrenaline addict life possible. You know, I was creating the telenovela instead of the happy ending, you know, romantic comedy.
Well, you know, I think one of the things that I hear a lot of times people say, well, you know, I've been worried about, you know, this presentation or this deal, or I've been worried about a client, or I've been worried about a family member. And I think it was just a couple of years ago, someone mentioned to me, we spend 90% of our time worried about things that will never happen. Never, ever happen. So what happens is that if you put your actions and your activities into things that really matter, then things will come back to you that really matter. And you know, to be honest with you, we don't have control. It goes back to that process thing, that if we take step 1, 2, and 3, we can control the outcome, and we don't get that outcome, we lose our minds because we expect it to be the result that we put in. But the reality of it is we can't even control that. We can't. So I think we have to release those things and realize that if it's for you, it's for you.
Yes.
It's for you. It's for you. That's it.
And that summarizes like everything that you were talking about in the letting go of the past. And you know, I love Ivette. She's on my business advisory team. If I need business advice or prayer, both equally important, I will call her, and she'll always say, you know, if it's meant to be, it will be. If not, there's that opportunity and that space for something better. But the reason why I call Ivette, and the reason why Ivette and I are always talking about the power of synergy and creating a team, is because we can't expect our ego, our self, that small self, to know it for ourselves. Sometimes, like you said, we need to ask for help, and for one other human being that we admire, that is inspiring to us, to say it is possible for you. Because sometimes all it takes is one other person to believe in you, for you to be able to take that one inspired action, that second inspired action, that next inspired action that puts you on your path for intentional living. But we can't do it alone. That's why I thought it was so powerful when you said, open your mouth and ask for help.
And I think what's so important is as I love the fact that you say that I'm part of your executive circle of business partners, because you're part of my executive circle of business partners, and we have common women and with people around us that are those trusted advisors. And I think what's so important is that people have to find wonderful, trusted advisors, people who are going to be real, people who are going to be honest with you. They're going to tell you what you really need to hear, not what you want to hear. And I think one of the things that I tell people all the time, I said, well, you know, I've been trying to create a business for many years now, and I've really hesitated because every time I share the story with somebody of what I want to do, I hear these naysayers and these people around me who say, oh, you're crazy, you're such a dreamer. But what I want to say to you is you just need to change your circle of friends. The reason they say what they say is because they don't know what you know. They don't want what you want. They cannot see what you see. So their answer is going to be no, because they have no other answer. What you have to do is find people of like mind, of like energy, and who can be your real advocates and on this journey that you desire for yourself. And you know, and I hate to say it, I'm not beating down on family and those close people next to you. But you know, the thing about you is sometimes they're scared that if you take off, you're going to leave them behind. So sometimes their desire to keep you back is simply selfish desires, because they don't want to see you leave them or go away. So keep in mind, there's a mixed message in that no. It has nothing to do with you. It's all about them.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, it's absolutely creating that circle of friends, and even they could be mentors that live in possibility. I think it's Jack Canfield, the Chicken Soup for the Soul, that says we are the average, the median income of the people that we surround ourselves with. And I'm like, gosh, all my friends are PhDs and doctors. I'm in great company. Not only that, but all my friends operate from heart, and they truly are servant leaders and don't do things for themselves or self-promotion. They are all about servant leadership. And they, of course, benefit, but it's about the cause and the mission. So before we wrap up, I just want to ask you a very powerful question in regards to what has been your biggest challenge or your client's biggest challenge, and how have you helped them to overcome it so that they can live an intentional life?
You know, I wanted to say I'm living here in the moment because I'm juggling several projects right now. And one of my largest projects right now is a national company who is looking to do work in the to expand their reach in the multicultural arenas, not only the Hispanic community, but the Asian community, the African American community around the country. So they're really looking to bridge that gap, that multicultural gap. So one of the things that I'm helping them is understand that the internal culture has to change in order for the customer engagement results to change. It has to be something that has to speak from inside out. And so helping them overcome some of those internal mindsets has been a challenge, but rewarding because they desire it and they're working really hard to accomplish that. And I'm so happy that I can help bridge that information gap and create that engagement that they so desire. Most importantly, that they can eventually quantify to their bottom line. So from a business perspective, I love that I'm in that place. And I think that from a client perspective, that particular coaching client, helping them understand that their purpose is something that I desire for them just as much as they desire it for themselves, and building that trust one day at a time, one session at a time, because building trust is difficult. In this age of internet connections that seem to be so artificial at times, you know, everyone who's our Facebook friend is our personal friend. Well, I hate to tell you, it's not true. They're either nosy or they're stalking you, but not all of them are your friends, but some of them are. But I think building that trust with my customers, every time it happens and I feel that breakthrough happen, it's so rewarding to me. It really is. So I have those two areas. But I think one of the things that a real takeaway is, you mentioned, is if you desire something, you have to surround yourself with that, whether it's just the actions or your words, the people. If you want to be a millionaire, hang out with millionaires. If you want to be a great leader, reach out to a great leader to mentor you. If you want to be a good business person, find someone who's successful in business and ask them. Don't ask your cousin or your parents, people who've never really taken that entrepreneurial journey, and ask them for business advice. Really surround yourself with strong and powerful advocates of your purpose and your message.
Ooh, that was good. I love that. Yeah, you can't go to an empty well for water and wonder why you can't get anything to drink. And I agree with you absolutely. I love my great friends and I love my family, but sometimes that inner circle may not be the right person to get advice on. You don't go to a veterinarian to ask about your heart, right? It's just like,
one of the things I would love to do, and I don't know how much more time we have, but I want to do something. I do want to challenge whoever's listening to this message today. I need to challenge you. I want you to do something different. Tomorrow, after you listen to this message, today or tomorrow or the next week or next 30 days, I want you to go to and do something completely different. If you're not a person who likes museums or certain musical events, I want you to buy a ticket and go, or watch something on YouTube that's completely different. Even watch, if leadership is something that you desire, go on YouTube and Google leadership and watch a video. If you desire to go into business, whether it's a multi-level marketing business or starting a new business startup, I'm going to challenge you, go out and find information so you can be informed. Change that mindset. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to ask at every question or every person you meet new questions. keep asking questions and get better at asking those questions. So when it comes time to be in front of a new customer or a new mentor or a new coach, you're asking the kind of questions you need to obtain the information you desire. But then the most important thing is, I want to challenge you to change your speak. What you say, your language is so powerful. I want you to start your day and end your day with an affirmation. I am powerful. I am strong. I am amazing. I'm successful because I was able to accomplish this. I'm healthy because I'm watching what I'm eating. Say those things to yourself, not only in the morning, but at night. And do that every day for 7 straight days, and see not only the results you get, but see how you feel, and just how you feel so satisfied with yourself. So I want to challenge whoever's listening to this today to do those 3 things, because I think they'll start noticing that their lives, their mindsets, but most importantly, how they feel starts to change. And the reason is because you're choosing more for yourself.
I love that. I love that. So I invite you all to take that challenge. We can't do the same thing and expect different results. We
Absolutely.
have to take action, and what I call it, inspired action. So you can't go to the next level by operating from the same place. That's why on your phone you have a new operating system, new and improved apps. But we now have been installed with the Ivette Mayo, I Am Empowered Person program. This is the new program you're on, and it's synergized because we're together. 2 Latina powerhouse coaches and speakers that are both giving you the encouragement to say, we believe in you. We know that you can do it. We've seen others all around us, including each other, go to levels we didn't think we could and do things we were very scared to do, like my Global Latino Summit last year, and do them anyway. And we know that this is possible for you. So I want you to be able to stay in touch with Ivette Mayo so you can continue to get more of these amazing nuggets. As you can tell from this brief time together, it was so full of content and rich information. How can they best stay in contact with you on social media or through your website?
Well, a couple of things. I'm on Twitter, and I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me at Ivette Mayo. So it's Ivette with an I. So just make that clear. I for intention, I for incredible, but it's IVETTEMAYO. So find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. But my website is called Yo Soy, or my business is called Yo Soy I Am LLC. So you can go to www.yosoyiam.com. There, my calendar events will tell you what I'm doing, where I'm speaking. In the month of October and November, you'll see my new masterminds that I'll be doing some of the John Maxwell masterminds. I'll be doing some lunch and learns, giving people a chance that throughout the week, get a chance to get on and out, pack their lunch, put on their headphones, and listen to some real nuggets of information through some of my lunch and learn programs. And then in 2016, look forward to my new book. So some of this intentional speaking and affirmations, I like to call them I-formations, because they create I-itude, because you really matter. So look for my book, The Power of I, and it's going to help you continue to grow on this life of intentionality and affirmations. So I'm looking forward to the new year, but in all these new programs. So follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And don't forget, yosoyiam.com. There on my calendar, you'll see all my wonderful events.
And can they buy your cards on your website?
Oh, yes. And so my cards, of course, are called, it's Yo Soy Expressions. So it's YOSOYEXPRESSIONS.com. And there you can buy any of the cards that we have on there, whether it's your holiday cards, your Latina inspired cards, wait a minute, it's Hispanic Heritage Month. Oh my goodness. So, you know, if you want a special gift for some of your Hispanic friends or your friends and family, I really will encourage you to visit the site and find that perfect gift for the special friends in your life.
I love it. Perfect timing. Perfect
Yes.
timing. Well,
Timing and positioning is everything.
exactly. And I really encourage all of you to share this video if you think that it was beneficial with your friends. Share it on your social media. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is how I'm able to keep bringing these videos to you. I need about 200 more subscribers to be able to attend YouTube classes to learn how to produce even better and amazing videos for you. So I encourage you, please, 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 I believe in the power of synergy and that we can have quantum results if we all work together. Sharing is caring. So I invite you all to share this with the people that you love and the people that you know are going to be changing the world through this amazing information that Ivette has given us. I want to give you a warm beso, a gran abrazo, and next time I am in Texas, or I know we'll see each other on the road, I'll give you one live and in person. My name is Deborah Deras, your host of Transformational Tuesday, creator of Deb TV. And we are here every week with new experts giving you tools and expert advice to transform your life and your career, health, relationships, and spiritual connection. And if you have any comments on shows that you would like to see in the future or challenges that you would like me to help you to overcome, feel free to write them in the section on the website, and I will create shows especially for you because this is for your transformation. You can also follow me on DeborahDeras.com on my website, and you'll receive a free meditation CD when you sign up for my newsletter. So make sure you go on it, DeborahDeras.com, and grab your copy of the Meditation for Success audio. And you can check my calendar events and see where I'm speaking next. Going to Texas and New York, other fun places to spread love and light. And I know that you are going to be spreading love and light now that Ivette has ignited the flame of passion for intentional living. And I will just say ciao for now, people. Ciao. Thank you so much, Ivette. Bye. High five, girl. Excellent.